Okay, so we're now going to connect up the SensArray Enterprise here to our laptop, and all we need to do that is we have a PoE injector with its power cable and two Ethernet cables and a laptop. So all we need to do is connect the power cable to our PoE injector. The other important thing about the PoE injector is the other side of things, where we have an in and an output port. And so the output port is actually outputting the combination of what comes in from the input data port, and it combines the power onto that same cable. So the output port contains both power and data. So that's what we want to connect to our reader. So we'll go ahead and do that. So the output port will connect, and we'll connect that one to our reader. Now, the other thing to note, and very important, is that we're connecting here to the PoE 0 port, the most left-hand port. That's critical because that's the only port that inputs power. The other ports are output power. So these can be connected up to other external PoE devices, such as other PoE readers like SensArrays, or other PoE devices such as cameras and so on. And then also the inputs can be coming from another reader, another SensArray reader anyway, if it's outputting power. So we can actually daisy chain these guys together. But for the purpose of this, PoE injector goes directly into the only port that can input power, and that's PoE 0. And then what we're going to do here on the input is we're going to connect the input to our laptop. So I'll lean across here, unfortunately, and connect up like that. And then, of course, the only remaining thing we have to do is the easy one, of course, is connect up to power, which we'll do right now. And what you'll see after a couple of seconds is you'll see a light turn on the PoE injector. And after a second or so, you'll then see the light flash here very quickly, briefly. And then the main LED here will flash red. And that's to indicate that it's receiving power and that it's going through a boot up process. And it will take about 40 seconds or so for it to go through that boot up process first time you power up. So what's going to happen is as soon as this is booted up, this will start flashing green. And as soon as the reader is active, it will output a heartbeat. And that heartbeat will basically go through the network. And our network's obviously a fairly simple one here. And will be recognized over here on the console, the RFID console. In fact, we've gone green right here, so we can see it flashing green. And already we've populated here with the SensArray Enterprise reader. So we're up and running. We can now go and click on that reader, go and start reading, go and do some additional setup. Okay, it's as simple as that. So key points, always make sure you connect power coming in on PoE 0 here. And I'm going to disconnect this here and just make sure that you're connected to the output port of the PoE injector to your reader, and the input port is connected to your laptop. That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, so now we have the reader up and running. What I'd like to be able to do is to add an additional antenna. So this is the SensRF 101, which is an IP68 antenna, equivalent in terms of performance to a layered 9028. We do have an SMA connector here, and on the reader we have a reverse SMA port. So we need an RF cable, which we can provide, and we actually have different types of cable available in terms of cable loss. So if you need very long cables and very low cable loss, let us know. And we supply all of our cables, and they are clearly labeled because the ends actually look very similar, but in fact they're a little bit different. because they are different. One is a reverse SMA and one is SMA. So we have RDR for reader and ANT for antenna. So there's a clue. So we're going to plug the antenna side in to the centaur F101, and we're going to go to the first available ports here on the reader and plug in there. If you get this around the wrong way, you've got to be very careful because you don't want to break any of the connectors. So if you do that by mistake, and it's a bit tough getting it on, there's a clue right there. So just check the labels and you'll make sure that you have it around the correct way. And that's it. You now have a 2 antenna system, one here and one internal. And it's as simple as that. If you want to attach 2 more, same process for the additional 2 SMA ports there.